Traveling and experiencing other cultures is something that I believe is very important in life. I believe it gives you perspective on the world you live in and makes you appreciate what you have. So I asked around to see what kinds of experiences some of my classmates had with traveling. First, I was interested to see who had traveled outside of the United States.
No, I've never traveled internationally.
I have, a couple times actually. I went to Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Hungary. So I went up towards the Alps, and there was actually a restaurant like really high up there that it was like a rotating restaurant. It was really cool.
Internationally, no. Well, that's not true. When I was a baby, I went to Puerto Rico with the family, but no, I don't remember nothing.
I have traveled to Mexico, and that was of last year.
I've never been outside the country, but I do have an American passport.
Surely everyone has places that they've heard about or seen but have never had the chance to visit. So I asked about this next.
I'd say Australia, maybe Japan, maybe France, maybe.
Europe. I would want to travel Western Europe or Australia.
I've always wanted to go to Japan with their electronics. Growing up, I've always heard Japan was a place for electronics, and I love electronics. I just think I'd have a lot of fun over there.
I'd like to go to Canada this year. In future years, I'd like to go to like London, the UK, and Ireland.
I then asked a few classmates what they would hope to gain or what they were looking forward to the most in their travels.
I really want to go to like the museums and see all the old architecture and the old art and stuff.
I just like to be there, collect passport stamps, that kind of thing.
Now, something I have noticed, especially in America, is that many people are absolutely averse to learning of new cultures or accepting that they even exist in a sense. So I asked if anyone could make sense of this.
I think people are afraid of what they don't understand.
I guess people just don't like things that are different. Like inherently, we're used to what we're used to.
Set in their ways, I guess. They grow up closed-minded.
People are afraid of change.
You know, they have seen the effects of globalism. A lot of immigrants come to America, and they've seen how America's changed in that time, and they're afraid that they may lose the American identity, if you will.
For me, seeing how other cultures operate really gives me perspective on how I go through day-to-day life. I wanted to know if my classmates felt the same about this.
It's too early for that. Don't ask me that. It actually makes me feel like mine is boring.
No, I usually just try to be myself, and
Well, it just helps you to realize that the world really is bigger than the small world you've been in.
We need to be far more receptive and accepting of other cultures.
I think if I went to a culture on my own and not one that was so tourist heavy like Cancun, I might have.
I was pleased with what they had to say, and I had one last question. Is there any country that you would rather live in than America?
I feel like in the future I would like to live in a different country for a short period of time. I think I'd probably go to Australia or somewhere in Western Europe.
I think America is the greatest country on the planet. I wouldn't have it any other way than America. So, visit other countries, but live in America. So.
I don't think so.
Probably Canada. They have free healthcare. It's a little too cold, but I can deal with it. I got jackets.
While living in America is something I never take for granted, traveling and experiencing the world around you is something I believe to be paramount. It helps you to understand other people and in a way understand yourself. I was glad to see that these people felt the same thing.